So, what happens in Iran, throughout the Middle East, and the rest of the world now? First, in Iran, the regime of the Islamic Revolution is over. I believe that the United States, Israel, and the rest of the international community will try to provide Ali Khamenei with the most graceful and dignified opportunity for a step down. On the ground, however, there are some reports that indicate there are skirmishes between revolutionary types and the military types. So I assess that for the next few weeks, if not few months, as a new, more moderate and more pro-Western government comes into place, any high-level military personnel, security or besiege type personnel, or mullahs may be hunted down, and in some cases, some will probably be summarily executed on sight. In Palestine, Hamas and all other resistance type elements will see what happened in Iran. Their will or resolve will be greatly diminished. Iran will be no longer able to support them at all, and hopefully we see the release of all the hostages and a complete cessation of hostilities between Israel and Hamas within months, if not weeks. In Yemen, the Houthis will see what happened in Iran, and their support base from Iran is also greatly diminished now, and we will likely see them settle almost immediately. The former so-called Shia Crescent is greatly diminished. Russia has been watching this very closely, and I believe that they're going to be very thankful that their scientists were allowed to leave safely or given some type of safe passage, or I believe it's reported that most of them are at least safe. And this is going to allow the U.S. to now repivot and focus on Ukraine. So hopefully we will also see Russia come to the table soon on that. Hopefully we will see a cessation of hostilities in Ukraine within the next few weeks, if not few months. In the United States and throughout most of Western Europe and most of our allies, elements like Europol, Interpol, Homeland Security, FBI, and in the U.S., 2A types are standing very vigilant for any type of foolish lone wolf attack. The Islamic regime never had much international consensus or international political economy or support base, so don't look for evacuated or escaped personnel from the former regime to suddenly pop up in Venezuela and be some kind of significant nuisance anytime soon. By the way, Iran is obviously in no way, shape, or form capable of closing or shutting off the Straits of Hormuz, so forget all of that fear-mongering that's been in social media the last few days. Current or former AQ or IS or AQ or IS aligned types, like those currently in power in Syria, like the former Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, or the Taliban in Afghanistan, here's where there's a little bit of a problem, because they may become emboldened. They may become the next regional problems, but they're small problems and manageable at this time, so that's probably not going to emerge for several years. Due to what happened to Hezbollah in the Lebanon area and what's going to continue to occur with the transnational criminal organizations in Mexico and elsewhere, despite globalization, we might see a significant drop in organized crime and an economic upswing. China was also watching this very closely, and they will likely recognize U.S. primacy in the international order. North Korea was watching this very closely, and they recognize that they can't even successfully launch a naval ship off of a pier. I believe that there's a significant potentiality that Trump and the United States can help craft or forge long-standing peace and stability in the Middle East, and the Abraham Accords and Arab states' normalization of relations with Israel may actually come to fruition. While I don't agree with the manipulation of intelligence, something has to be said about Trump's resolve and decisiveness, because in this case, it could play a substantial role in potentially crafting significant and long-standing peace throughout the Middle East, and possibly eventually a long-standing peace or cessation of hostilities between Russia and Ukraine, and this could cause a bit of an economic upswing for quite some time. We are witnessing potentially significantly more global peace and also potentially an economic upswing by no later than 2026, and hopefully that will carry through at least 2029. However, this relative peace and potentially slight economic upswing will only last so long, and there will be economic stagnation, and we will see another security dilemma.